Hello everybody and welcome to the Glue Instruction Toys Reviews. Today we're going to be taking a look at the SH Monsterarts figure, MECHAGODZILLA 2021, from the movie Godzilla vs. Kong. In this review, I'll give an in-depth analysis of the action figure from my perspective, with the paint apps, detail, articulation, accessories, box art. So without further ado, let's jump right in. So the first thing we have right here we're going to take a look at is the actual box of this action figure. Pretty good sized box for what it's worth. This is a bigger figure. It is fully set up once you get the box. It isn't like, say, like a NECA figure where you take it out of the box and you gotta put the tail on and work with it. This is all put together with the exception of a few different hands that you can put on. But the actual box, though, we're looking at about, I think it's about maybe about 12 inches across, just a little over 12 inches. And then after that, at the top, this is maybe about right around 8 inches long, 8 inches tall. But MECHAGODZILLA in the backdrop right here, the little powder smoke thing that you got going on in the poster, so it stays very true to the actual movie, Godzilla vs. Kong. And one thing is right here about this line right here, I didn't really think about it much until I looked at this figure, but it says MECHAGODZILLA from Godzilla vs. Kong 2021. I think they could have done without the little from thing, because I feel like the text of the movie just gives it away. They don't need to exactly do that, and I understand they did do that on the Kong, and let's see, yeah, even the Godzilla, and some of that could be argued, well, they don't really specify, and sometimes maybe just to help people out, so if they don't know exactly which one, because not every fan is gonna know what movie it is exactly from. Monsterverse logo, and then you have the back of it, which has more of the stills, and a lot of these stills were all seen when this figure was unveiled to us in the first place. I didn't really notice this on the other ones because of the fact that this little sticker hat was covered up over the little Bandai cut. Basically, all you're going to do here is just going to take your phone camera to this, like any of those that you've ever used, and it will take you to their customer support website just in case you have any issues. It's both in English and Japanese, no problem. And then for that you have your barcode, so I'm gonna go ahead and get a good look at that. If you want to go ahead and pause, go ahead and do that, and you can just use that for reference if you need it. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and get our MECHAGODZILLA onto the scale and see how much this figure does weigh. And let's do it one more time just to make sure it is everything is properly on. Oops. So right within that range, exactly right there. Not bad, not bad. At most, with height, by the way, this figure we're looking at just a little bit over 7 inches, this figure is. And here is a nice little height comparison between our SH Monsterarts Kong, and then for that, our Godzilla. So he does tower over them quite a bit. This does remain accurate and true about to the film. I do remember him being significantly taller than Kong and even Godzilla. Here's a little comparison between our SH Monsterarts MECHAGODZILLA and our Godzilla from Godzilla vs. Biollante. Now, if you have these figures and you want to match them up and do a little clever photography, hey, I have some good news for you. The scale is not much different. In fact, they will go perfectly together. So you can have a lot of fun. You won't have to do a whole lot of Photoshop, go in there and rescale Godzilla or MECHAGODZILLA around. So they're just about the same size, just a little bit more height advantage on Mecha. This is around the time, by the way, if you don't have this figure, you don't know anything about NECA and their Godzillas, let's say you have never bought them basically near the end, this was one of their last ones and they were beginning to resize their Godzillas up. And there we are, giving our MECHAGODZILLA a nice little 360 spin. Let's talk about the detail on this action figure. I feel like in every way they have captured the essence of this figure on this scale to the best they can, and this is where SH Monsterarts really rocks the world. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get him off here, and we're going to get a closer look. Kind of bring it in right here. Now this MECHAGODZILLA, a lot of people are kind of mixed about how they feel about it. There's some people that consider it as a great one. There's other people that are like, it's just kind of generic and feels like every other mech or Terminator or something from Transformers. I've seen that debate thrown around a lot. 1 second. Alright. So, it does give me off Terminator vibes, especially when you're looking at this this frontal view right here. I've always thought that this Mechagodzilla, looking at it in the face, it looks to be one of the most soulless looking Mechagodzillas that does not really give a damn and is willing to go to some incredible lengths to make whatever it is fighting gonna suffer. So anyway, looking at the actual figure though, for what it's worth though, every which way we have everything, the little details, the little cylinders, I think it is a marvelous figure. This is one of those figures that, no, one of those characters I should say. When I saw it on screen, my first thought was I can't wait to see what SH Monsterarts, and I think I knew NECA had lost their license by this point, so NECA was not going to toy around with it. So look at the back. Let's kind of look at the legs right here. I get curious about what this is right here. They almost look like hatches. I don't think that's exactly what they are, but that's what just the first word that comes to mind. There's our forearm, there's our arm, forearm, and our wrists. Let's take a look at the body right there. We're gonna go ahead and move around to the feet right here. Then after that, we're gonna finish it off with this tail right here, which isn't too long and lengthy, but it does capture the accuracy. It's tipped off at the very end with this little spike that we have, actually, which is, let's flip this around real quick. It's almost like a claw. This reminds me of like a predator claw. So it kind of splits off into 2 different pieces right here, but in total though, we've got at least 4 different that actually meet up near the end. So I'm impressed. I'm always impressed with this scale right here, when they can nail the amount of detail, and that's where SH Monsterarts is just way above NECA. NECA has always kind of suffered, and sometimes NECA will just go ahead and just kind of use their imagination when it comes to certain action figures and just kind of sculpt whatever. But this looks pretty accurate. I do not notice anything at the top of off the top of my head, I should say, that is not accurate. And one more thing I do want to look at right here is this right here. Almost looks like piping or something that's kind of running. I did see some of this stuff I did not notice in the actual movie when I was watching in theaters. Curious about what this was. If I remember right, I think this is where he launched his rockets from. I believe he launched some rockets off. I need to go back and rewatch the movie severely. I'm due to rewatch it actually. As I'm filming this, we're looking at Monday, which is tomorrow, to watch it with some friends. And I understand, supposedly, rumor has it, there's going to be a Godzilla vs. Kong 2. But I am like waiting for Legendary to give official news on that. And who knows where that will take us. So I'm going to go ahead and shift gears now and talk about the paint apps on this figure. Now, unfortunately, one issue I do see with this figure is the paint apps do not use a lot of variety. It is pretty well just kind of got the same straight silver just all along it. The only variety I even see is in the spines. You can kind of see there's a little red right here. I kind of missed this for the longest time. And actually, before I was doing this review, I kind of just sat back and kind of took a look and re-inspected some things. And I started to notice that was even there, because I started thinking, didn't I see some red on this character throughout this figure? So that is a nice little touch that they added in right there. But overall though, it does, it could be because of the lighting. I do want to say some of the lighting I got going on, it is popping a lot more. But if you actually look at it in person, just with, under regular lights, it really is just kind of flat. And this is something that SH Monsterarts is kind of known for. I felt like the King Ghidorah, anybody that remembers King Ghidorah that had came out, they had released it with a very bland paint apps, and people were going and they were having it customized, and then after that they released a brand new one that came out. It was kind of like a version 2. That's how it should have been handled in the first place. Now for this, Do I bet they're going to give this a new polished paint app? I have belief that likely SH Monsterarts probably will. That's not a guarantee, it's just my personal belief and what I'm thinking. We'll see where that goes. I'm not saying this is terrible paint apps, but I want to use this as an example. And if you can tell on this Predator helmet right here, to me this just pops a lot more. I would have loved to have seen more variety in just detailing and different washes on this this figure. That would have definitely made it pop that just much more. Now, I could have it customized. I have a friend I could call up and ask her, hey, would you be willing to give this thing a brand new paint job? And if I do that, I'll post a before and after type thing on my Instagram. Might do a little video that I might put together. I haven't decided that I'm going to do that, but it's something though, even though all collectors, or some collectors will do that, I should say, it should be remedied right from the get-go to the best that they can. And it's just something I gotta call it out. I don't want to be one of those reviewers saying, well, yes, it's perfect, it looks great, you know, because realistically these do have their drawbacks. And these reviews, I'm doing them because some of you people are trying to debate whether you want to purchase this, and this ultimately decides, well, how much do you care about accuracy? If you're somebody that is super big into accuracy, you're going to find yourself customizing this just a little bit more. But if you're somebody that sees this and is just blown away by the base figure of what we got, guess what? I don't think you will be too dissatisfied. It's just the price range of this figure, which runs for over $100, which might kind of turn people off. But from my experience of what I'm seeing though, I do feel like it was worth paying for. It does lack though in one department, and that has to be the paint apps are just a little bit behind what it could be. So one thing I do want to point out real quick, for this figure we do have a little instruction booklet. This is something that they really didn't need to include, but you know, I do like it when they include small things like this, because it does include a little different alternate hand that is included with the actual action figure itself. So we have two different alternate hands for our MECHAGODZILLA, and you can pop off the original one, which is more of I don't know how I want to point this out right here. Maybe let's throw this aside real quick. These original ones might be so just kind of in like a regular, maybe resting position. You know, you can kind of turn it into a fist, you know, as if he's getting ready to punch Godzilla or Kong. But these other ones are just kind of more of in a let's go ahead and get this to focus real quick. It is more in a grasping position. So it's kind of nice that they did go ahead and do that. And the cool thing about these fingers, and this is one thing that SH Monsterarts just does well, and I'm gonna go ahead and hope that I just do not break mine. Okay, there we go. Okay, so if this happens to you, if you're articulating and just kind of like forcing it forward, do not worry, this guy's not broken. Basically, SH Monsterarts is really friendly in a sense when it comes to a lot of these digits, and you can just easily just pop it back on and he's ready to go. The next thing I want to talk about in this video has got to be the articulation on this action figure. So SH Monsterarts is notable for their extreme articulation on their figures. Key things I'll start with would be the head. We do of course get our mouth articulation, which kind of opens and shuts. There's not a lot of range out of this though, however. In our head, side to side, it does appear to be on a nice little ball joint. Same with the actual neck right there. So you can kind of get that around. See how far, if we can possibly do this like nope, that seems to be as far as it's going right there. So it's nothing like, say, like nothing crazy like on Godzilla versus MECHAGODZILLA where we can just totally spin it around. I did notice right here, it appears to be two different joints. Got our shoulder right here, and it kind of goes back and forth, just swings back and forth. That is a nice little touch to have right there. There is no ab crunch articulation whatsoever. We have our elbow articulation, and then for that we have our hand down to the feet. We're able to move these all the way. Let's see how far we can get it. Here, let's refocus. Okay, you can move those all the way down, and then for that back up. So there's a decent amount of range. And then you have our knees, which they're not like double jointed, not as far as I can tell, but you can get a nice little bend, and it goes back a little bit, about that far. Now I'm gonna try to be mindful of this section right here, but at the same time I want to kind of show you guys a few things. So you can pull this out a bit right here. Now if you notice it's kind of curving a little bit, I'm a little worried that I'm gonna pull this out too much and cause a little breakage. Early on, see this little thing right here, this is supposed to move, but if you notice right there, very wobbly. On this side, not as much. It does not move. It is just kind of stuck in its position. So that just tells me that something came undone over here. It's not really a big deal. I can probably fix it if I play around with it, but I kept it that way in this video with the intention of showing you guys what's going on. And for that we have our tail, which is completely segmented and just keeps on going. You can spin this around and it goes and goes all the way down till about right here. So I'd say this is exactly where it ends, and then after that it is just one piece. I did get mine from Big Bad Toy Store, so if you are interested, go ahead and let me know what you think of this action figure. Has it been worth it? Is it something you're going to be picking up? Is it something you are waiting on